Hello, everyone. I'm Virginia Prodan, the host of Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan. That is every Wednesday and Saturday at 10 o'clock Central Time. You can listen on Spotify podcast, Apple podcast, and Edify Podcast Network. And of course, you can watch it on our YouTube channel. We are so glad you're here. We love your questions, and we love to hear from you. As you all know, the podcast is called Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan, and it's based on my book, Saving My Assassin, and my experience in Romania and here in America, because God put in each one of us skills and talents to be leaders in our sphere of influence, in our home, in our business. We also based our Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan podcast on welcoming courageous leaders on different areas that will influence us and train us and share with us how they started and how they are courageous leaders in the area. And one of those courageous leaders is the actor, director, writer, and producer Tony Lo BIanco. He started his career in the Academy Award-winning film, The French Connection. Tony has been in over 100 films. He directed over 5 television shows. He will speak, and I'm so excited that he will speak about his new movie with Ray Romano called Somewhere in Queens. And there was a premiere in June at the Tribeca Film Festival and will be released soon. Tony and his beautiful wife, Elise, are working as co-executive producer of a film project on the Shrub. Tony is involved, and his wife are involved in many nonprofit organizations. And Tony is also a lifetime member of the Actor Studio. Tony, I'm so glad you are back. This is not your first appearance here. We had you before. And as we promised, we need to have you back. So welcome back to our podcast, Courageous Leadership with Virginia Prodan. You, indeed, are a courageous leader. Can you tell us a little bit about your new movie with Ray Romano, Somewhere in Queens? I know you, when you shared with me when I was at your home, beautiful home, farm, you told me about the movie being a movie based on relationships and why that it's important, especially right now when the culture and the liberals are trying to destroy family and to destroy relationship and making us like enemies against each other. So welcome to our show. Please tell us your part of the story.
Well, thank you so much, Virginia, for having me. It's a pleasure, of course, that we're friends, and that makes it even better to be speaking with you. This film, Somewhere in Queens, that Ray Romano wrote, directed, produced, and starred in. And Somewhere in Queens is where he was born and his family lives. And it's based loosely on his life. And the other actors that are in this movie is Laurie Metcalf. She's a wonderful actress. Jennifer Esposito, Sebastian Maniscalco, Sadie Stanley, Sadie Stanley and Jacob Ward are the 2 young juvenile leader in the movie, along with Ray and Laurie. And the movie is a family movie. It is about relationships. It is about the human experiences, which, as you mentioned, seem to be long gone in our country. With not only it being done on purpose from a governmental kind of situation, but also from a mechanical point of view of putting those computers and telephones and so on in our hands, which divide us and do not make us interact with each other. So I'm very happy to be in a movie that is family oriented. This movie is I play Ray Romano and Sebastian Maniscalco's father, and we're in a construction business. And my whole family, in fact, Ray works for me, Sebastian works for me, and Sebastian's two sons work for me in this construction business. And so the expectation is that Ray's son will work for me. And but Ray, hello, who's that? Hello, we have a neighbor. Unfortunately, sorry about that. So
if you can speak a little bit louder, that would be great.
Okay, fine. The film is about Ray who lives through his son. Basically, his son's a basketball player, and Ray goes to his games, every game, and he gets a great deal of cheering from the audiences that keep cheering for the father, and he basks in that, and he lives in a bit of a fantasy. He quotes Rocky from the movie Rocky with Sylvester Stallone, and he quotes from that movie. So he lives in a bit of a fantasy. Now he works for me, and he's always late. He does a lousy job on the job. His head is not in the business, and so when his son graduates from high school, the expectation is that it'll come and work for the company as everybody else does, because it makes very good money. Now, along comes a scout, and he sees that the kid is a good basketball player, and he thinks he can get some kind of a scholarship in a small college. And my idea is, what he's not going to play professionally. He's not good enough to play professionally, so why is he wasting time going to this college and playing basketball when he could be coming and working for big money? But that's more of a realistic point of view. And so there's that battle. Now, also, the young lady, Sadie Stanley, this little actress, he finds her as a girlfriend, you see, and she's more of a free spirit. And he sort of falls in love because it's his first love, the boy. And she doesn't want to get that close so fast. She wants to go away and see the world, you see. So it's a big problem for him and big problem for Ray, because the boy will not play basketball anymore because he's so despondent. Now, so Ray has got to get this girl to sort of go back with him, back with the boy to keep his spirits up. It's a very complicated, wonderful movie. And I don't want to tell you the whole movie because then you won't want to go see it. But the Ray and his wife Laurie Metcalf, they have she has her own problems too, but she doesn't want the boy to leave home, as I guess no mom does, and so she's got her own problems. She's very suspicious of the girlfriend. She doesn't want him being pulled away, and she has her own physical problems as well too, and it's a very intricate human movie that people can really relate to, and that's what I like about the film. You know, it's so So it's a pleasure to be in it. Now, the movie opened at the Tribeca Film Festival. It did very, very well. Ray is the, as they say, producer, writer, and director, and so he's negotiating with the sort of film companies that are interested in distributing the film. And I haven't heard when and how it's going at the moment, but I will inquire very shortly. So
it's very interesting that you touch very important things about this movie, but not only the movie. It's about family and family relationships. And sometimes, if we don't pay attention as a family, we will have, like you mentioned here, about the family expectation. It's not only family expectation about their relationship in the family, but family expectation about the business.
yes,
It's very interesting that the father lives through his son. The son doesn't want this, and we have to make sure that if we have an expectation about relationship in family, we build that relationship and that expectation for a long time. And if that doesn't come to fruition, as the child, boy or girl, will want to continue the business, we have to understand to let it go and let them follow their dreams. And it's very interesting that you also talk about the father wants, I believe he is more interested in expectation and relationship in business, but mom is more interested in family relationship. And as many mothers, they see their son still the baby and suspicious about the girlfriend because he will pay more attention to the girlfriend. And in that area, mothers have to learn to release the child, to pray for, to give them advice if they need that advice, but not. And many times you have to adopt the girlfriend to know her more and let the son to decide this relationship.
right.
One other thing that you talk about in the movie, it's very interesting, and I am excited to see this because the movie reaches the work ethics in the family. You know, sometimes when one of your child will work in a family business, will come late to work, will not have good work ethics because they might think that they can go away with those things when a stranger will not do those things. So those things can be corrected. First you have to be aware of them, and then you have to correct those work ethics, because those work ethics that your son or your daughter in your own business will have will reflect later on in their relationship with other businesses. So it's very, very interesting. The other thing that you beautifully related to us about this movie, and again, I'm excited to this, is young people try to run to marriage maybe too fast. They don't wait for waiting and see if the person that they are in love right now, they have the same values, if they want to meet a family and so forth, like the old and important tradition that we used to have in America. So those are very, very important points that you made about the movie, and I am so determined to go and see the movie, not only to see you. You are such a good actor, and I want to see how you play the role of the father. And I admire your courage to take into this role, which is so important, because for many young people and people of ages, they buy into this, what the culture tells them. Oh, the father doesn't know anything, the father doesn't know anything. But this movie brings what is missing in our culture, the value of the father and the grandfather that they have and they can bring to this generation, and also how this new generation thinks, so we can learn and relate to them.
Mm.
So I'm grateful for what you shared with us.
Thank you. Well, I hope everybody is as enthusiastic as you are about the values that we share, and will come and see this film, because I don't like films that you walk away from and think about, well, what am I going to go eat, or so and so. I like people to think about what they just saw and talk about that subject matter, and I also like it to be educational, so that they learn something from the film that will help them in their lives.
This is what is something characteristic about you, that you are courageous to go with something new. You are courageous to bring something to people to learn and think about, even if it's not something that maybe you think, go with what the culture will ask in order to make money. You want to make an impact, and Ray Romano does the same thing, and you are associated with a team that is looking to invest in people to bring values, and that's what I call courageous leaders, and you are one of them. And I am grateful for that, and I am again so excited. I want to see the movie, and I want to recommend to everyone about the movie, and as soon as we have information, we're going to put on the podcast, and we're going to put it on all the social media.
Yeah,
so, Tony,
the kind of conversation that Ray seems to be having with these studios is that they're very interested in the movie. However, they don't want to release it against the big movies. When they say the big movies, the big Top Gun, and you name it, all those big Marvel movies, they don't want it to get lost, in that. So that's the battle now in terms of when they're going to want to release it. So that's what the discussion is about.
That's another thing about a courageous leader. A courageous leader doesn't go with the flow. It takes wisdom. It takes searching for when the audience is ready for, creates it, and waits for when the audience is ready for. Obviously, Ray Romano invested lots of money on this movie, so I'm grateful for that. Well, Tony, I want to thank you so very much for coming again to our podcast, sharing your heart about you being an actor, being a courageous leader, and investing in people. I'm so grateful for what you are doing. And again, we're going to bring you again because you have so much values. And we're going to bring you again to talk about how you became a successful actor by overcoming all the obstacles in your life. So we are grateful for that. And we thank you so very much for sharing with us about this wonderful movie. And we want to thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Virginia. Being with you is like being with family, and that's the way we feel about each other. I know, having spent so much time with each other, and I'm very grateful for that. And I hope that kind of relationship, permeates our country, and we're missing a great deal of family feeling. And I just had a whole bunch of family here, as we always have at my house here in Elise. We had my brother's here with his wife, and also my brother's grandchildren were here with his children. So we had eight people here having dinners together.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Thank you so very much, Tony. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
We are so glad that we always can bring courageous leaders like Tony Lo BIanco. We are so grateful for you being here. Please follow our courageous leadership. Follow for free our courageous leadership with Virginia Prodan. That is every Wednesday and Saturday at 10 o'clock. You can listen our podcast on Spotify, Podbean, Apple Podcast, and Edify Podcast Network. And of course, you can watch it on YouTube. Don't forget to send us your questions, your concerns, everything that you want us to talk about. And of course, if you know a courageous leader, give us information about that person and we will include in our podcast. Until next time, be blessed and see you later. Bye-bye.